Greetings, everyone. I just thought I'd try something different real quick and see if this is possible.
You're awake. How about that?
And I'm doing it with the Jsawyer mod, as always.
Whoa, easy there, easy. You've been out cold a couple of days now. Why don't you just relax a second? Get your bearings. Let's see what the damage is. How about your name? Can you tell me your name?
My name is Many a True Hobbit. Well, that ain't gonna fit. Let's just go with Bilbo Baggins.
I can't say it's what I'd have picked for you, but if that's your name, that's your name. I'm Doc Mitchell. Welcome to Goodsprings. Now, I hope you don't mind, but I had to go rooting around there in your noggin to pull all the bits of lead out. I take pride in my needlework, but you'd better tell me if I left anything out of place.
Well, I'd imagine those bits of lead have done substantially more damage because I'm a lot smaller because I'm a hobbit. Now, to make a hobbit, you need, like, sideburns, I guess. And Bilbo is like 100 years old or something like that. I don't know. But let's just look at the hair real quick. Because hobbits don't seem to... They seem like they're hippies and they don't have haircuts. Especially post-apocalyptic hobbits, you know. Speaking of which, in the original Fallout games, there were dwarves, which weren't really explained in the lore, but after Bethesda acquired the franchise, they haven't reappeared since. And my theory is that Todd Howard, being a munchkin himself, he probably was sensitive to those people being in the game, so he got rid of them because it made him self-conscious about his own lack of stature. That's my theory anyway. And the same is true with the Elder Scrolls, because originally there was dwarves in the Elder Scrolls, but as soon as Todd Howard became the project director with Morrowind, they became extinct. Is that a coincidence? Well, I don't know. But how would you explain it? Todd Howard is a leprechaun who rode his bicycle to Bethesda, and then he begged them for a job, even though he had no experience or qualifications whatsoever. And somehow they hired him, and he's been working there ever since. But his whole...
Well, I got most of it right anyway. Stuff that mattered. Okay, no sense keeping you in bed anymore. Let's see if we can get you on your feet. Good. Why don't you walk down to the end of the room, over by that vigor tester machine there. Take it slow now. It ain't a race.
Well, that's good, it ain't a race, because I'm a hobbit, so I can't run very fast. Now I'm going to go ahead and save here, and I got to make pretty damn sure I don't save over my Rambo save, because that would be disastrous.
Looking good so far. Go ahead and give the vigor tester a try. We'll learn right quick if you got back all your faculties.
Looking good so far, but that won't be the case when I'm done here. Gonna drop the strength down to 1, because 1 in strength for a human is probably like 10 for a hobbit. Plus, it's gonna make things a lot more hilarious and interesting. Perception. Well, Bilbo was perceptive, wasn't he? But this is gonna eat up all the points if I invest everything into it. Plus, you know, you get Eddie, and Eddie is... Okay, that's my points right there. Now, endurance is what helps you survive. Now, hobbits are supposedly hardy despite their small stature, but, you know, just don't got the points to invest into it. Intelligence, yeah, Bilbo is pretty smart, I guess. As for agility, I don't know. Luck, I would want to have high, because hobbits are like leprechauns, right? And Bilbo was pretty damn lucky because he found that ring, you know. But we used up all our points, so we're going to have to knock it down here. As I said, we have Eddie, so Eddie's enhanced sensors make up for perception for the most part. Eddie kind of like unbalances the game, if you ask me, because he's a very OP companion. Especially with Lonesome Road, which gives him a bunch of new abilities that carries over into the vanilla game. Like, he steals Veronica's, because you can use Veronica as a workbench, but Eddie can do that too with the upgrades from the DLC. So he kind of makes Veronica, he takes Veronica's ability, you know, and then there's less of a reason to want to have Veronica and him at the same time. I don't think that's very fair or balanced, but, you know, whatever. Okay, so Bilbo, he like reads a lot of books and stuff, I guess, so but you only get so many points here, and now agility, I don't see hobbits being acrobats or anything like that, but it does govern the sneak skill. And hobbits, you know, they sneak into Mordor and all that stuff, so hobbits, they're just too short, and their legs are too short to do the acrobatic stuff and all that. Well, it's not going to be perfect, but this is looking a little bit better, I guess. Now, charisma, it'll help Eddie's companion nerve, so it is actually useful. We'll probably be relying on Eddie a lot more than in the Rambo series, because we're just not going to be able to take those hits like we could, like Rambo could. So the higher charisma will be good.
With luck like yours, I'm surprised them bullets didn't just turn right around and climb back into the gun. Well, we know your vitals are good.
Yeah, my vitals are about to get a lot smaller because I'm gonna alter my size to hobbit size. Now, that should make me half size. 5 is half of 10, so... Holy shit, that's not... It's the opposite of what...
What do you say you take a seat in
I think I took the wrong pill. Damn.
Your dogs are still barking.
Now, can I take a seat at this size? That'd be pretty funny. Doc Mitchell's house is like a dollhouse now. Somehow I'm able to fit in here. His roof should be obliterated. Alright, well, we're gonna have to fix this. So, the mistake I made was I forgot to put a decimal because we need a 0.5, not a 5. And that should make us half the size of a normal NPC. Although we seem kind of maybe even smaller than Hobbit. I don't know. It's going to make it really hard to interact. So I'm going to increase it to 6. That should be 60% of the size of normal. Because default is 1, so it's going to make it harder to interact with stuff, and of course you move slower too because you're smaller.
All right. I'm gonna say a word. I want you to say the first thing that comes to mind. Dog. House.
Well, you know, he is a burglar, but he's not a burglar by default. He's a great burglar.
Night.
Treasure.
Bandit.
Because Smog's treasure. Bandit. I don't know. He'd probably try to reason with him. Well, we're gonna change all this anyway. It doesn't really matter. I should just skip through. This is kind of annoying. It's
Mother.
I don't know why I bother with this.
Okay. Now I got a few statements. I want you to tell me how much they sound like something you'd say. First one. Conflict just ain't in my nature.
Well, strongly agree, because Bilbo is not a fighter guy.
I ain't given to relying
at
on
least
others for support.
by default.
I'm always fixing to be the center of attention. I'm slow to embrace new ideas. I charge in to deal with my problems head on.
Absolutely not.
Almost done here. What do you say you have a look at this? Tell me what you see.
Broken chain. Shadow in a doorframe.
Okay. How about
It's
this
Sauron's tower.
Last one.
That's the two Bjorns high-fiving. That's the annoying thing, is they cut Bjorn out of the movie.
Well, that's all she wrote. I don't have nothing to compare it to, so maybe you'd better just have a look at the results. See if it all seems right to you.
Yeah, we're gonna change most of this. Just go ahead and reset it. I will go with sneak though, of course. Sneak and lockpick for sure. Now, yeah, I always thought it would be interesting to go in, do that challenge with a focus on lockpicking, because there's a lot of things that you can't get into, such as the armory. Now, barter would be a Bilbo thing, but other than the commissaries, you wouldn't really use it very much, so it wouldn't be very helpful. I just go with survival, I guess. I'm not going to take any combat skills, so because I'm going to mostly try to avoid combat.
Before I turn you loose, I need
Wow,
one
look
more
how
thing
small
from
I
you.
am.
I got a form for you to fill out so I can get a sense.
Doc
of your
Mitchell's like a
medical
giant.
history. Just a formality. Ain't like I expect to find you got a family history of getting shot in the head.
Now, I don't think he's claustrophobic because he lives in a hole in the ground. Just like Veronica. Does that mean Veronica is a hobbit? Early bird, maybe. Maybe he is, but whatever. There's no guns in Tolkien's works, so can't go with fast shot. Good natured, definitely, that for sure. I mean, it fits the character like 100%. That'd be funny to take good natured and heavy handed. They're not mutually exclusive, but it's just funny that you could take both, I think. Or kamikaze or hot-blooded. Now, Logan's loophole is nothing but a positive, because we're not even going to make it to 21, so the fact we can't level past that is no downside whatsoever. Wild Wasteland might be fun, because I know there are some wacky things in the DLC, but small frame is definitely a Hobbit trait, if there ever was one. But being crippled constantly would probably get annoying after a while. Not being addicted to anything, however, would be great with Logan's loophole. Plus, I guess, like, he stopped aging once he got the ring. Like, he was like 100 and something.
All right, I guess that about does it. Come with me, I'll see you out.
I gotta run just to keep up with him at walking speed. So this is gonna be a bit of a problem to play it at this size, but, you know, it adds to the challenge of what is already a challenge to begin with.
Here, these are yours. Was all you had on you when you was brought in. I hope you don't mind, but I gave the note a look. I thought it might help me find a next of kin. But it was just something about a platinum chip. Well, if you're heading back out there, you ought to have this. They call it a Pip-Boy. I grew up in one of them vaults they made before the war. We all got one. Ain't much use to me now, but you might want such a thing after what you've been through. I know what it's like having something taken from you. And put this on too, so the locals don't pick on you for lacking modesty. Never was much my style.
They'll
anyway.
pick on me for lacking stature, not for lacking modesty.
Don't mention it. It's what I'm here for. You should talk to Sunny Smiles before you leave town. She can help you learn to fend for yourself in the desert. She'll likely be at the saloon. I reckon some of the other folks at the saloon might be able to help you out too. And the metal fella, Victor, who pulled you out of your grave. Anyway, you ever get hurt out there, you come right back. I'll fix you up. But try not to get killed anymore.
And we're going to do it on hardcore, of course. Because that's the only way I do it. I don't do it the MATN way. Damn, look how small I am. Now this is supposed to be 60%, but I don't know, it seems more like 40% or something. We're going to keep the bobby pins, though. I mean, that goes against the spirit of the challenge, I guess, but there's something I want to use them for. And it's probably something I need to do. It's probably necessary, to be honest, in order to get through the silo. And we're going to be bombarded with a bunch of DLCs. The only one that matters is the one we're going to, of course. I gotta be careful because Victor might roll over me and crush me at this size. He might not even see me, you know, because I'm the size of a doll or whatever. And of course, Dead Money is the last one to load, even though it was the first to come out, ironically.
Howdy. What can Easy Pete do for you? Keep your gun handy if you go poking around some of the abandoned places around here, like the schoolhouse. Critters move in there sometimes.
The schoolhouse, you say? I might make a stop there.
Cheyenne, stay. Don't worry, she won't bite unless I tell her to.
Well, that's good because she could swallow me in one gulp.
Yeah, I guess there's a thing or two I could show you. Sounds like you need all the help you can get after what they done to you. Meet me outside, behind the saloon.
Doc Mitchell told me to go to her for some training on how to survive in the desert. Now, Sunny Smiles is slightly shorter than most NPCs, but as you can see, she is now a giant compared to me. But she's like 0.95
see
or
the
something.
sarsaparilla bottles on the fence there? Take this and try to hit a couple of them.
Now, isn't that convenient? She had a toy gun that she could give me.
That's the right idea. Look down the sight.
Aiming in third person is weird, but we're doing it.
Try crouching down and staying still. It'll help your aim.
I am crouching down. Alright, let's do it the right way.
Nice shot. Well, that's a start. But I don't reckon you came to me to learn to fight sarsaparilla bottles. Tell you what, I gotta go chase geckos away from our water supply anyway. Darn critters are attracted to it. Why don't you come along?
I don't think I'd be able to keep up with you.
Suit yourself. Hope this helped you some. I'm heading back now. Hope I didn't miss anything good on the jukebox. Cheyenne would never forgive me. Hey, do me a favor. Trudy, she's the bartender up at the Prospector. Kind of the town mom. She likes to meet newcomers. She'd be cross with me if I didn't ask you to poke your head in and say hi.
Alright, I didn't get any XP from doing this, so it didn't really... I mean, well, you get a gun and some ammo, but you don't get XP from it unless you do all the
Howdy.
I'm done
stuff.
being nice. If you don't hand Ringo over soon, I'm going to get my friends and we're burning this town to the ground. Got it?
We'll keep that in mind. Now, if you're not gonna buy something, get out. Well, you've been causing quite a stir. Glad I finally got to meet you. Welcome to the Prospector Saloon.
I've been causing quite a stir because I'm the midget that showed up in the town one day.
Be careful out there.
Like Todd Howard showing up at Bethesda Studios on his bicycle. That caused quite a stir, I'm sure. People were thinking, who is this midget? And then Robert Altman, the CEO of ZeniMax, probably thought it'd be cool to have a leprechaun employee, so he hired him. And he's been working there ever since. We can test out our Hobbit abilities by trying to pickpocket Joe Cobb. And here's a bobby pin, which we would need if we didn't already have one. Now this is where third person mode is helpful when you're sneaking, because you can see around corners without physically going around the corner. And we're going to steal his stealth boy because, oh shit, he's caught us. God damn it. Okay, okay, we better run because he can probably walk as fast as we can run, so we gotta get moving. Oh shit, he's coming. We gotta get in. We're gonna go into Easy Pete's house and try to hide. I don't think he can follow us in here, but then again, I'm not sure. I'm gonna cut through and. Oh shit, he's hostile. Damn. Well, maybe Easy Pete will save me. Now I do have this doll-sized rifle, which Sunny Smiles conveniently had to give me, but the bullets are so tiny, they probably wouldn't even break his skin. Alright, so I'm gonna hide behind Cheyenne. Hopefully she doesn't eat me. Damn it, this jukebox is gonna get me demonetized.
Whoa, what's going on?
We're in caution. Is he gonna come in or something? Well, we could wait until the caution goes away, but I think I'm just gonna go out the back.
Whoa, what's going on?
Watch out!
Alright, cautions. He gave up and he went back to go stand where he stands. But we got this little doll rifle and I don't think it's gonna do anything. The bullets are gonna be so tiny, you know, you're like shooting grains of sand at people. It's not even gonna break the skin. And we got a reputation now because we were caught stealing. Now, how did we get caught, though? Because we're so small that how could we even be noticed? Well, I'm going to put this rifle in here because we're not going to take anything except the bobby pins, which is an exception that we're going to allow because it's probably necessary Now, like Easy Pete said, we're gonna head to the schoolhouse. Well, he warned us to keep our gun handy, but keeping your gun handy means killing the critters, and that means earning XP, and we don't want to do that. At least not until we get into the DLC, because we want to go in with as little XP as possible. But there's one thing in that schoolhouse which we do need, so some XP is unavoidable. And this is taking longer to get there because we're smaller. But we're still getting there nonetheless. Now, because we're smaller, these mantises might be more of a hazard. Alright, we're caught. We gotta rush. Fortunately, time stops when you're doing these mini games, so we can take all the time we want here. And there's just one thing that we want to take, and that is the guaranteed spawn of the stealth boy. And now we're going to get out of there. Now, fortunately, that we took a hit, but those baby mantises, they only do like 1 point of damage, so you'd have to stand there and take a bunch of hits before it would do anything, even as tiny as I am. Now I'm going to go into Victor's shack, and well, first thing I'm going to do is try to shut off this radio that's going to get me copyright claimed. Now this is a problem Oxhorn often has, because he's always worried about his monetization, and he's so short, it's hard to get up there and turn off the radios, because he's only like 3 feet tall. Now this container here, in one of my playthroughs, it did happen to have a stealth boy in it. This time it did not. But I just wanted to check that and see if it happened to have one this time. So once in a while, randomly, you might get lucky and there might be a stealth boy in a random container, but the one in the schoolhouse is guaranteed every time. And you can use it to get past the Cazadores. If you want to go north, don't listen to anybody who tells you that you can't get past the Cazadores, because you definitely can. Now we're going to stand well back, and no, we can't do it because we've already tried and failed. I'd probably have to wait a day or 2 or 3 before trying again, but instead we're just going to use the one we have. It would be better to have 2, but 1 will have to do. And hopefully he doesn't see us running away and come after us. Because if he turns hostile, the powder gangers up ahead probably will also, and we just don't have a chance against them. And this journey to the entrance of the divide is going to take a lot longer to get there, because we're a midget, or a hobbit, I guess would be the politically correct term to say. Now, I don't know what a hobbit would sound like. Probably with a high-pitched voice like Oxhorn. And yeah, we're done. I don't see anything to improve on it. But yeah, like I said, a hobbit voice would probably sound high-pitched like Oxhorn, but probably that combined with the British accent, I guess. So probably like a cross between Oxhorn and Many a True Nerd. But I can't do either kind of voice, so I definitely can't do a combination of the two. So, not even going to try to do a Hobbit voice. So, you're just going to have to use your imagination on what it might sound like. But I think it's a cross between Oxhorn and Many a True Nerd. Now, the things up ahead, like the geckos and all that, they might be more of a hazard because we won't be able to outrun them as easily. We also can't jump as high either. That's another disadvantage. So when you make yourself small like this, you get a ton of disadvantages, and I don't think you really get any advantages other than maybe it makes it harder for enemies to target you, like aim at you, I guess. Like if they shoot at you, it's more likely they're probably going to miss because you're a smaller target. That's probably the only advantage you get from being this small. It doesn't help you. I don't think it helps with sneaking or anything like that. You'd think it should, but I think it's mostly negatives. Now, someone did say that there's a way... Oh shit, we're in danger. We gotta run. Gecko's trying to chomp me. Now, if I make it to that NCR guy, he'll probably start shooting it or something. No, it looks like I don't see it. Alright, good. Now, what I was saying is someone mentioned that you can go up and over the rocks, and that way you can bypass discovering the map marker to Prim, because you get 10 XP for discovering it, and if you're doing this challenge you want to ideally not earn any XP before you enter the DLC, but I don't know if you can go around the rocks or not, but there's enemies about, so maybe you can't. Okay, I hear shooting, but I don't see any blips. Now maybe we can go this way here. I don't know. It would be nice to avoid having to talk to that NCR guy, because he runs up to you and I just don't want to talk to him. He's the first NCR dude you meet in the game.
Hey, where the hell do you think you're going? Prim is off limits.
Yeah, I know, whatever.
It's your...
He has to run up and annoy you, whether you want to be annoyed or not. Now, if there's a way over these rocks, I don't see it. But we are smaller now, so maybe we can fit between the gap of the bus and the wall. Because there's a gap here, and oh shit, we can't. We're small enough to, but there's an invisible wall that means you can't, no matter how small you are, I guess. Well, there's nothing else you can do, I guess, except take a really long way around. But if you take a really long way, then you'd probably hit other map markers or something. And so, whatever, we're just going to take the 10 XP. It ain't going to make any difference, really, so it's just something you got to accept. Now, up ahead, there's the coyotes, of course, and Considering we can't run as fast, that's going to be a real problem. Fortunately, we're hidden. Now, if you look up on that hill in the distance, you'll see the alpha or the den mother or something looking down. But we're hidden, so we're good. Even if we're detected, the coyotes don't become hostile unless you get really, really close and stay close for a little bit of time. They'll growl at you, giving you a warning to get away. And if you don't heed that warning, then they will attack you. But you do have the chance to not be attacked by them. However, when you get into that Lonesome Road DLC, you have no choice but to get close to them to get into it. So they're gonna turn aggressive no matter what. Now, I don't see any way to get through here to bypass the map marker, but I just wanted to check and see, and so basically I'm just wasting time here for nothing. Now, it might be possible, maybe, I don't know, but I don't think it's worth it. We're just gonna take the 10 XP and that's it. You also get 10 XP when you exit Doc Mitchell's house and you discover Goodsprings. That's unavoidable. As soon as you leave Doc Mitchell's, you get 10 XP, and there's nothing you can do about it. And, of course, this map marker coming up for the divide, that's unavoidable also. Now, we're hidden so far, so that's good. But that's not going to remain the case, because there's some red dots. There's the alpha or the den mother or whatever over there. Or maybe it's the legendary coyote. I don't know. I don't really remember what it is, but it's an important one for sure. But unfortunately, there's some up here guarding the entrance and trying to keep as much of a distance as I can. We're detected, but it's yellow, so they're not instantly hostile, but see, they're growling, but oh shit, I can't. I'm stuck on an invisible barrier. Damn it. Now that is the first time I did this and ended up dying, because at full size you can run past them, but when your legs are this short, it's just not. Yeah, this sets us back quite a bit, unfortunately. Now, there is a console command to instantly teleport yourself to a location, and if I knew what it was on hand, I would probably do that, but instead I'm going to increase my size so that I can get there faster. Now, if making yourself tiny makes you move slower, then making yourself huge will make you cover the distance quicker, right? So I think 10 is the maximum. So we can get there a lot quicker now. Hopefully. Unfortunately, you do take fall damage despite being this big, and when you move, yeah, see, I'm falling and taking damage on these tiny, these hills and stuff are tiny compared to how big I am, but you still take damage as if you were, but nevertheless, that got us there a lot quicker, as you can see, because we're already here. Now this little ant guy is gonna try to warn us. Now, realistically, he'd be freaking out, right?
Hey, where the hell do you think you're going? Prim is off limits.
How is it off limits when I'm this big? I can go anywhere I want. It's funny how an ant would try to tell somebody this huge that a place is off limits. Like, how would he be able to enforce that? But anyway, we are here, so now we can go back to Hobbit size. Actually, I think I'll make myself a little bit bigger just because I need to get past those coyotes, and so I'm going to be 70% size rather than 60%. So now, rather than being Hobbit size, I'm now Danny DeVito size. So instead of a Hobbit Let's Play, we're now doing a Danny DeVito Let's Play. But it's a concession that we have to make because it's just not going to happen as a Hobbit. I think we're moving a little bit faster, so maybe now we can get past those coyotes. And I also have to be careful because there was like an invisible barrier or something I got caught on. That's mainly the reason I got killed there. Normally I'd be able to get past it, but I'm just gonna run. I'm not even gonna bother sneaking. They can detect you, but unless you're close, they don't care, so shit, I got bad health. You know, I can only probably take one chomp, and then because I was taking fall damage. Despite being a giant, those hills, small as they are, they were still, you know, the game doesn't factor that in properly. Alright, I'm running, but yeah, same. Damn. And I even made a video, a Goodsprings cave lore video, where I spoke highly of these guys. And they still kill me. Well, damn it. So, I'm going to do this all over again. Now, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward a bit. And I decided at this point, I'm just going to give up on the whole Hobbit angle and reset my size back to normal. Player set scale 1. Alright, I'm just gonna fast forward through all this uneventful, repetitive crap because who wants to see that all over again? And we're back near the entrance to the divide. And we're at full size this time, and I've done this before, so I know it shouldn't be a problem to do it again. I think they might have took a chunk out of me, but it doesn't matter because As soon as you enter the DLC, your health and everything is all restored to full. Any addictions you have are cleared, etc. So we're in here now. And as such, I'm free to loot. But this has all been seen before, so I'm going to fast forward through it, I guess. Now, I'm going to fast forward through this because it's not too interesting. But here, there's the skeleton with the duffel bag, and here, there's some turbo, which is I find extremely interesting because in my Rambo Let's Play, I never came across any turbo whatsoever. Yet here, there's a turbo in the bag. Now this is random, but I just find it odd how I've looted so many, probably hundreds of containers in the Rambo thing, and never found even a single turbo. Maybe, well, I don't know why that would be. I have great luck with the Rambo character, so it can't be luck based as far as I know. But it is an unlucky set of circumstances now. I'm going to save here because this is really precarious and I'm always afraid falling through the gaps of the metal. Now here's some steady. Now there's a lot of steady in this DLC, but now that debunks what I said in one of the Rambo videos about how turbo, you can't find any turbo in this DLC. Well, apparently you can, but it's random and I just never found it with the Rambo thing. I don't know why, but here it is. Now you could probably use the turbo to rapidly get past the Sentry Bots or whatever, Securitrons, whichever they're called, in the silo, and just turbo your way past them. But with this, I'm gonna try to sneak past them with the stealth boy. So that's what this video is about. But I'm sure you can do it with the turbo too, if you can manage to acquire some turbo. Now, as far as I know, there's not any guaranteed spawns of turbo in Goodsprings, but I do know that at the NCRCF, many of the powder gangers carry it. They're probably addicted to it. So it wouldn't be too much of a problem to stop at the NCRCF along the way, I guess. Now here's the silo controls, and it says children cannot use that. Now this is concerning because we need to access that to proceed. So hopefully once we get Eddie, then we'll be able to get... Now there's some sort of glitch or something going on because I changed the size of my character. So, and as you may recall, in Fallout 3, you start off literally as an infant. And it's no secret that New Vegas is based off Fallout 3, so whatever this weird bug is, or glitch, it's something, probably a holdover from Fallout 3, where you start off as an infant. But I changed my character back to normal 1 size of 1, which is 100% normal size. But because I changed it before, maybe it screwed something up. I don't know. I changed it to a miniature size, and I was a giant, so something might have got screwed up, and maybe that has fucked up this whole thing. Because if it is fucked up, I don't know what sort of console commands I'd have to do to undo it. So anyway, I'm gonna fast forward here. Now would you look at that? Children cannot even use the Ralphie posters. And now we got Eddie out of his cryopod thing, and he's going to unlock this commissary for us. And it says children cannot use that. Well, it's safe to say that this playthrough is screwed now, and we cannot proceed because we're not going to be able to activate the electrical thing to go through the. So that's it. Well, that's it. Apparently, as a Hobbit, you cannot do this challenge. So thanks for watching, and have a great day. Wait, you didn't think I was just going to end it there, did you? No, siree. But I'm going to have to start all over, I guess. Unfortunately.
You're awake. How about that? Whoa, easy there, easy. You've been out cold a couple of days now. Why don't you just relax a second? Get your bearings. Let's see what the damage is.
I think
How about your name?
this time
Can you tell me your name?
I will be Natalia.
I can't say it's what I'd have picked for you, but if that's your name, that's your name. I'm Doc Mitchell. Welcome to Goodsprings. Now, I hope you don't mind, but I had to go rooting around there in your noggin to pull all the bits of lead out. I take pride in my needlework, but you'd better tell me if I left anything out of place.
Now, in the original Fallout game, there was 3 characters default. When you set up your character, there was some guy that looked like Orson Welles. There was Mussolini, and then there was a female named Natalia, who, despite being born and growing up in the vault, she was a Russian somehow. Natalia Dubrovsky or something like that. Now, there was the three basic characters. There was the one guy was like a diplomat, and then the Mussolini guy, he was like the muscle dude that uses violence and.
Well, I got most of it right anyway. Stuff that mattered. Okay. No sense keeping you in bed anymore. Let's see if we can get you on your feet. Good. Why don't you walk down to the end of the room, over by that vigor tester machine there. Take it slow now. It ain't a race.
Now, the Russian woman, she
Good so far.
was the sneaky thief.
We'll learn right quick.
Come on, Doc, let me do this damn thing. She was the sneaky thief person. Like, you could, there's three main ways of playing the game. You can be a diplomat, use brute force, or sneak your way around, and she was the latter one. Now, you don't get as many points in New Vegas for the special allocation as you do in the original Fallout, which is probably for the best, I suppose. But then again, New Vegas has lots of opportunities to upgrade your attributes and all that, such as the implants at Dr. Usanagi's clinic and so on and so forth. So it probably balances out in the end. But we want to give her a lot of agility, because that is what governs sneaking. And we want to have a lot of critical stuff as well, because like when you're doing that sneak attack stuff, you know, you want the critical damage and all that, but there's only so many points to go around, of course. But agility we're going to have at 10. Charisma I'm going to lower. I'm going to give her 2 strength, because she's not a hobbit. She is not the Mussolini guy, so her strength is going to be low. But she's still going to... she's going to be very agile.
Most patients don't get out of bed after being shot and then move like they was in perfect control. You're
Now,
unusual, I'll say that.
all this stuff's going to be
Well,
boring,
you're violent.
so I'm going to fast forward through it.
Them bullets can leave you nuttered and a bighorn drop. Sometimes when you give tests like this, you learn more than you was hoping for, and I reckon that ain't always the best thing. But I guess maybe it explains a thing or two about your predicament. Well, that's all she wrote. I don't have nothing to compare it to, so maybe you'd better just have a look at the results. See if it all seems right to you.
Alright. As usual, we're going to have to reset it and do it manually. Now, it's going to be the same as the Hobbit, pretty much. Sneak and lockpick. And the Natalia in Fallout 1 had unarmed as a tagged skill, but as I know from experience, unarmed just doesn't work very well with the Lonesome Road, because there's only 2 unarmed weapons in the entire DLC. The industrial hand and the fist of Roar. And you don't get those until quite very late in the DLC, which by then, I mean, you're literally unarmed until you get those unarmed weapons. You're literally with your bare fists.
Before I turn you loose, I need one more thing from you. I got a form for you to fill out so I can get a sense of your medical history. Just a formality. Ain't like I expect to find you got a family history of getting shot.
Natalia in Fallout 1 has gifted and night person, I believe. Now, there is no gifted trait in New Vegas. And night person is a perk, I believe. But there is this skilled trait. And the skilled trait is kind of the exact opposite of what gifted was. Because gifted increased all your attributes by 1, but you had penalized to all your skills. So it has some major advantages, but also major downsides as well. Now I'm going to take Logan's loophole as before, because as I've said, there's 0 downside to it in this challenge, because we're never going to make it to 21 anyway. And Wild Wasteland would probably be fun, but I don't know. Skilled. Now we get an XP penalty, which isn't good, but getting +5 on everything, it helps in the short term, but it hurts you in the long term. And
All right, I guess that about does it.
I don't know
Come
if
with me, I'll see you out.
it's going to be more of a good thing than a bad thing or not, but it might cause us to end the DLC 1 level lower than we would otherwise be. However, you can get a perk. I forget what it's called, but it gives you extra 10% XP, so you can cancel it out, but of course it requires a perk.
Here, these are yours. Was all you had on you when you was brought in. I hope you don't mind, but I gave the note a look. I thought it might help me find a next of kin, but it was just something about a platinum chip. Well, if you're heading back out there, you ought to have this. They call it a Pip-Boy. I grew up in one of them vaults they made before the war. We all got one. Ain't much use to me now, but you might want such a thing after what you've been through. I know what it's like having something taken from you. And put this on too, so the locals don't pick on you for lacking modesty. It was my wife's. I think she was about your size, and she hardly wore it after we left the vault. Felt it was too brazen.
Well, not as brazen as nothing at all.
Didn't have much choice, I'm afraid. But I understand the sentiment. You should talk to Sunny Smiles before you leave town. She can help you learn to fend for yourself in the desert. She'll likely be at the saloon. I reckon some of the other folks at the saloon might be able to help you out too. And the metal fella, Victor, who pulled you out of your grave. Anyway, you ever get hurt out there, you come right back. I'll fix you up. But try not to get killed anymore.
And hardcore is what we are going to take as usual. And we got to stow all our stuff away because that's the challenge. But of course we're keeping the bobby pins. We're making one exception. I mean, I could take the clothes because it ain't gonna hurt. I mean, I'm gonna get armor before the first fight, you know what I mean? So you don't have, I don't think you need to literally go naked into the DLC. That's probably not necessary. But whatever. I mean, you're not naked anyway. You got your underwear, so there's that at least. But I think we're not gonna go into town because I don't think we should want the people to see us in our underwear. That would not be very modest. Now, unlike the Hobbit, I'm able to sneak all the way past those mantises. And I'm just going to take the one thing, which is the stealth boy. Now, Joe Cobb doesn't spawn in unless you do the tutorial with Sunny Smiles, but then those people would have to see me in my underwear, and we're not going to do that. So we're just going to use the one stealth boy, and that is probably good enough. Now we're going to go off the road here because this way fewer people are going to see us in our underwear. Of course, there could be an issue when we get to that NCR guy because he's probably gonna gawk at us, you know. And that's not good, but what can you do? I mean, it's not like I can kill him or anything, because if I kill him, then I'm gonna gain XP, which goes against the challenge, right? So it's kind of a bit of a dilemma here. And of course over there is Barton Thorne. And everything's okay, and hopefully the game doesn't consider us a child now. Now you see that was discriminatory for the game to, just because we were a little person, the game wouldn't let us. I mean, I reset the height back to normal, but the game remained treating us like a child and wouldn't let us activate the controls. And that is height discrimination, right? Because I was a little person, a dwarf, a hobbit, a midget, whatever you want to call it. But right now, I'm a normal-sized, full-sized adult human female woman. So the game damn well better not discriminate against us this time. Alright, now we're coming up on this guy, and there's just no way to avoid him. He's gonna check out our ass. I know it. I know what's gonna happen here, but you can't. I'll try to sneak past him, but I know he's gonna check out my ass. Let's see if we can. We're hidden, so. Oh shit! Detected. God damn it! Right, I better run. So hopefully I can get. Oh shit! God damn it!
It's your ass.
You're damn right it's my ass. Now quit checking it out. See, that's the problem when you play as a female character, because everybody checks out your ass. Now, maybe if you're a male character, people check out your ass too. Probably in Legion territory or something, but that's a story for another time. Now, there's the den mother. She's probably shaking her head seeing me go running around like this, but you know, that's the way the challenge is. I didn't make it that way. MATN did. So, you gotta blame him. Alright, they didn't get me at all. Because I'm a Russian acrobat. So, I was able to quickly get past them. Although I'm having trouble getting up here for some reason. And I'll take these rusty cans. And all this stuff I've I don't think it's interesting to watch, but there is some clothing here, so I can finally wear something, and hopefully people won't check out my ass in this DLC. Because, as you know, everybody in this DLC is a male. There's no marked women, there's only marked men. So, and then there's Ulysses at the end. So everybody is a male, and yeah. Now here's where, in the Hobbit thing, there was turbo, but here there is only rebound, which I don't know. I think that's really weird how there was turbo there when that's just the way the random thing turned out, I guess. I don't know. It just blows my mind how there was no turbo in my Rambo thing, despite all of the containers I looted. It seems like it should have happened at least once, but I don't know. Maybe that's just how it played out. I don't know. And there's some whiskey and some jet, and somebody probably committed suicide off there. And some steady. And some nails. Now, I'm sure this is all boring, but, you know, I can fast forward through it, but we're almost there. There's just this. Now, this, I have a fear of heights, so this thing always gets me right here, because I'm worried I'm going to fall to my death here. Especially with these shoes I'm wearing. Could you imagine being out here like this, especially in these shoes? But at least I'm a Russian acrobat, so I can do this, you know. If anybody could do this, Natalia could. Super stim packs. And we're only getting 9 XP because we have the 10% penalty, and that adds up over time, so by the end we might be a level lower than how we started. I just want to see if it says children cannot activate it. Because if it says that, then I'm going to be pissed. Because that means I did all this for nothing. And it also means I'm being discriminated against by the game. Which is not... Okay, it says what it should. But if you're a little person or dwarf or whatever you want to call it, the game won't let you do it. And that's not fair. But anyway, I'm going to fast forward through this part because it's been seen so many times that it isn't interesting anymore. Okay, now we are basically up to the part where the Hobbit thing failed because the game called us a child because of our height. And Eddie's gonna zap right through me and activate this commissary, but fortunately the game is treating me like an adult and allowing me to use it. And that gives me the opportunity to sell all this garbage. Which I have gathered since entering the divide. And I only have 2 strength, so it's not going to be like the Rambo thing where I had like 8 strength, where I could carry a lot. I just can't carry a lot this time. Now, there's no pulse grenades, which would help against the Sentry Bots, or whatever they're called, Securitrons, or... There's 2 kinds of robots. There's the Sentry Bots and the Securitrons. I'm not sure which is which, but one is the ones like Victor that roll around on one wheel and they have a TV screen on them. And then there's the other ones, which are here in the silo. I'm not sure which is which, but I'm sure you know which I'm referring to. And I do not have any caps to buy that stuff. But before we get to the first fight, I think that we will find some dead marked men, and we'll be able to get some basic armor off of their corpses. Come on, Eddie. Now all this stuff's been seen before, but so I could just fast forward through it all. The only interesting part is if the stealth boy at the end, if I can use it to sneak my way out of here. That's the whole point I'm doing this. Oh shit, I don't have enough science. I do, however, have a Programmer's Digest. Let me see, what is my skill? My skill 24. So I'm just 1 point short of being able to get in there. So, I mean, all I gotta do is level up 1 time and put 1 point into it, and then I'll be able to do it. Now, as I've shown in the Rambo thing, there is the first skill book of the DLC is over here somewhere. But first of all, we can open this desk, and inside we can find the security codes for the first area. And this will allow us to disable one of the Sentry Bots, I think they're called. But anyway, like I said, there's a skill book around here somewhere. It's for repair. It's Dean's Electronics. It's easy to miss if you don't... Right there it is. Now, I think it's kind of rare for these books to be just randomly laying on the ground. Usually, you'd expect them to be in some kind of container or something like that. And we can do our these skill checks with Eddie, and that will help push us towards level 2. I remember there's some flamer fuel down here. Not that I needed it or anything, but it's there for some reason. I don't know what happened to those iBots that you see working on that rocket. When you pull the lever after Eddie activates it, and then the windows open up there and you can see the iBots, but when you go over here, the iBots are gone. So I don't understand what's going on there. Well, I may as well light up a cigarette, right? I mean, I already did this challenge without using the mod, so there's no reason why I should have to do it twice without using the mod, right? So if anybody was wondering how the mod works, that's how it works. And it's like alcohol, it gives you some sort of boost or whatever, and you can also get addicted to it, much like tobacco in real life. And it probably shortens your lifespan, but that's outside the scope of the game because you're not spending years in the game, so if it does eventually kill you, it's not something you're going to see in the game. You're probably going to die from all sorts of other things. Yeah, I'm just going to skip through that stuff. We've all heard it before. I can't do the correct voice for this character to read it anyway, so I'm not even going to try. Now, this, we can disable that Sentry Bot. This whole floor only has one, so doing this, that's all you're accomplishing. And to be honest, I think I could take it on with Eddie's help and that Ghostbuster thing. So I really don't need to do that, but because I could just fight it. But it gives me XP to level up, and I can put a point in science so I can unlock that room without having to use a programmer's digest. And what else do I want to do? Put a bunch into sneak, obviously, if that's the point of the character, which it is, and we want lockpick to go up as well. And there's a point left for repair. And my intelligence is higher than the Rambo character, so I have more points to invest. Swift Learner, that's the perk I was talking about earlier. You can do up to 3 ranks of it, and that increases your XP by 10%. I mean, XP earned by 10%. So taking that perk would offset the trait if we want to do that. But I don't think we want to do that. Intense training is now Cherchez La Femme. That's the most useless perk in this DLC because there's no females. And the Black Widow, I know it helps with Ulysses, but I'm not 100% sure if it works on marked men. It may, and I think it does, but I'm not certain on that. So I'm going to go with intense training because that fits the character, as also because in Fallout 1 she has the gifted trait, which this game doesn't have. But if you take 7 ranks of intense training, you will have the same result, I guess. But anyway, we got past the security here, and we can loot this area. This desk is hard locked. I don't know what's in there. I don't know if it's random stuff or maybe it's the security codes for the next level. It could be. I don't know. But I don't know if it's possible to get 75 lockpick to do that. But I mean, on a level 1 challenge, because normally you're supposed to, because you're recommended to be at 25, level 25 minimum to go in here. Alright, I'm gonna go back down and hack this terminal now that I can. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward through it, because it's just not that interesting to watch. Now, would you believe I go through all of this looking for duds, and it's the very first one at the top. Well, that's the way it goes sometimes, I guess. And one of the things was an allowance replenish. That was the very first one, and I don't know that why sometimes it's that and sometimes it's a dud. I don't know. Anyway, this loot here, I covered all this in the Rambo video I did. I think I probably should just fast forward through all this, but I don't know. Yeah, I'll fast forward through it. Alright, so now we're back more or less where we were. There's a yellow pip up here, which is something. But it's not hostile. It's gotta be the turret, I think. That broken one. Now here is the armor I told you about. It's sneak +2 and +1 agility. Although we are at max agility, if I'm not mistaken. Now, if you were to go through this DLC as a sneaker kind of person, as a Natalia or Hobbit, you know, sneaking around, then that armor is probably the way to go, because the sneak and the agility, plus the fact it's light armor. Every other armor is medium armor, if I'm not mistaken. And that gives you a sneak penalty. But light armor helps with sneaking, so now we are already in combat apparently. So I'm going to go ahead and first repair that to get the weight down. And here we go. We got this thing. Now, like I've said, I don't have the endurance that Rambo does. And it shows because, look, I'm already down to like half health here. But I can just get behind him, and fortunately he's focused on Eddie. But he took quite a toll on us. Now, he's not the hard part. The hard part is when we flip that switch and then you got like 5 or 6 of them to have to deal with. Then it's a problem. Yeah, right there would be a good time for a repair to come into effect. And that turret, if you get it on your side, it would help not only against that one Sentry Bot, but if it survived that initial one, then it could help with the other ones as well. So if you made like a Tim the Toolman Taylor build, because you got the nail gun, so this DLC would be perfect for a Tim the Toolman Taylor playthrough. But, you know, I'm not going to be playing this DLC again anytime soon after I finish the Rambo thing. This here, what I'm doing, I just want to see if I can get through the silo, because I thought if you can bring a stealth boy in, then maybe you can sneak your way out. I don't know, but we'll see what happens here. Because I'm pretty sure I can't fight my way out. I could barely do it with Rambo, you know. Then again, you know, the best sort of build would probably be energy weapons build, because that would help with using this thing I have right now. And as far as I know, this is the only energy weapon in the DLC. Everything else is other kinds of weapons. I mean, weapons that were introduced by the DLC. Of course, there's some from the vanilla game also, but, you know. Now, sometimes the commissary will carry pulse mines, and if they had it, I could have bought some and laid them down, but it just wasn't carrying it at the moment. Sometimes it carries pulse grenades too, which can also help a lot. Now see, that trooper armor is medium armor, and there's a penalty for medium and heavy when it comes to sneaking. So if you want to be a sneak kind of person, this armor here, with the sneak bonus and the agility bonus, and the fact it's light armor, I'd say it's probably something that could be used throughout the entire playthrough. Because if you're going to be focused on sneaking rather than fighting, then, you know, you're going to be avoiding a lot of fights anyway, so you don't need all that DT, right? It's not as important. You're going to have Eddie shouldering the burden, so to speak. And this this Army General outfit, it's technically light armor, but it's more attire than armor, I guess, because it's only got one DT or something. And it helps with speech checks, and that's probably fine if you're talking with Ulysses. Because maybe some of his checks, maybe you could do, but I don't know. Thing is, if you're doing a level 1 challenge, you're probably not going to waste what little points you have into speech. I mean, that'd be pretty dumb, wouldn't it? That'd be a really poor use of your points, I think. But, you know, if you want a challenge or something, you could do it, I guess. But I'm going to go ahead and activate this Stealth Boy in advance. And have Eddie do his thing here. And because I have Logan's Loophole, it should help this Stealth Boy last twice as long, I think. Caution, already danger. Okay. So, that answers that question. You cannot sneak through, and I didn't save, so shit, I'm already all the way back at the beginning of the damn silo. Well, you know what? There's a solution for that. It's called fast forward. So, now, thanks to the miracle of editing, we fast-forwarded all the way through, more or less, back to where we left off. And I'm going to throw down a save here, just in case. So, we'll try this again one more time, at least. And what I'm going to do this time, because maybe Eddie was the problem. Maybe because Eddie was with me, maybe they saw him because he doesn't have a Stealth Boy like I do. So I'm going to have him wait way here out of the way. I needed him to activate the thing, but I don't need him right anymore. So he's done his part. Now I'll be able to sneak by myself. At least that's the theory anyway. And we'll see if it's possible. Because remember, I tagged sneak as a skill and I have a Stealth Boy. So if it is possible to sneak through here, then we're going to find out right quick. Stealth Boy's active, and here we go. Sounds like they're shooting, but okay. I actually did even worse, if you can believe it. Even worse than before. Damn, that sucks. Well, you can't do a sneak. I'm pretty sure. Because I've done it. I've done everything I could think of to try to sneak through there, but it just isn't going to happen. Now maybe you can run through there. Now if I had the turbo, which I found in that duffel bag in the Hobbit playthrough, then I could turbo my way through probably. But let's just see if I can run through. I'm gonna try the Stealth Boy anyway, even though it didn't help any. We'll see what happens here. Now this one comes through, and then the other one doesn't. Hell with it, I'm gonna run. Alright, so this is how you can get through there. And this should work with any kind of build you might make. But sneaking is broken. It isn't, you can't sneak through here. And I'm just going to skip through Ulysses' boring dialogue because we've heard it before, so who cares? And we get 90 XP instead of the 2,000 that MATN thought somehow he was supposed to get, but of course he's not supposed to get that. So we proved one thing at least. We proved that you can run past the Sentry Bots. So no matter what sort of build or play, character build or whatever you do, no matter what you do, you can get through here just by running. You don't need to do science like MATN did, and you don't need to use brute force and kill the Sentry Bots like I did with Rambo. And that, let me tell you, that was hard as hell to do that, but I did it. Both of those methods are possible, but as I've shown right here, you can also run through, and we're in caution, so yeah, the stealth just doesn't work. Even if you have a stealth boy, you're just not gonna do what you think you're gonna be able to do. So, lesson here is do not try to do this challenge as a stealth character because it's just not going to happen. And with that being said, I'm going to end the video here because I've proved my point, and I don't think there's anything more to say really. So thanks for watching and have a great day. This is Logical Fallacy signing out.